In the sprawling empire of ancient Rome, a delicate balance held between imperial authority and the varied peoples it ruled. Though Rome's polytheistic culture was famously accommodating to foreign gods, its tolerance wore thin with monotheistic faiths, especially Judaism. The Jews, deeply committed to their singular God, continuously tested Rome's patience and authority. The simmering tensions first erupted dramatically in 66 AD. Judea, having endured Roman rule for decades, was already a region fraught with religious fervor, political unrest, and social division. The Roman Procurator Gessius Florus aggravated an already volatile situation by forcibly taking 17 talents of gold and silver from the sacred treasury of the Second Temple in Jerusalem under the pretense of tax collection. In defiance, young Jews sarcastically begged for coins for the impoverished Florus, provoking his wrath and leading to a brutal retaliation. Thousands of Jews were slaughtered, inciting widespread rebellion. Across Judea, cities erupted in violence. The radical sect known as the Sicarii captured the fortress of Masada, massacring the Roman garrison stationed there. In Jerusalem, local Roman troops were besieged in their citadel, eventually surrendering their weapons, only to be mercilessly slain. Greeks and Jews throughout the region slaughtered one another in escalating cycles of vengeance. Rome swiftly responded. The Syrian proconsul, Cestius Gallus, marched south with 30,000 soldiers, intent on quelling the rebellion swiftly. Gallus's forces besieged Jerusalem, but found the city resiliently defiant. Ultimately, Gallus withdrew, but the Jewish rebels saw their opportunity and ambushed the retreating Romans at Beth-Horon Pass. The proud Legion 12 Fulminata was decimated, their siege engines captured, and their prestigious Eagle Standard lost, a humiliation that emboldened the rebellion further. When Emperor Nero learned of this debacle, he appointed the battle-hardened general Vespasian to crush the uprising. Vespasian gathered a formidable army of 60,000 soldiers, assembling legions from across the empire. His initial campaign was merciless, systematically conquering Galilee in 67 AD. Towns such as Jotapata, Joppa, and Gamala fell one after another, often in a storm of fire, sword, and devastation. Yet, as Vespasian prepared to tighten the noose around Jerusalem itself, the Roman Empire was thrown into chaos. Nero, despised by many, faced a rebellion in Gaul. Soon after, he committed suicide, plunging Rome into civil war. A year of turmoil ensued, with emperors rising and falling in rapid succession. Galba, Otho, Vitellius, all unable to establish lasting order. Amid this chaos, Vespasian himself was proclaimed emperor by his troops in July 69 AD. Recognizing his destiny lay in Rome, Vespasian entrusted his son, Titus, with finishing the campaign in Judea. In the spring of 70 AD, Titus marched on Jerusalem with an even larger force of 70,000. Jerusalem was fortified, prepared for siege. Inside its formidable triple walls were over 20,000 determined Jewish defenders, divided but united temporarily by the Roman threat. Titus strategically encircled Jerusalem, establishing fortified camps and launching initial assaults. Yet the Jewish defenders showed unexpected resilience, forcing bloody setbacks upon Roman soldiers. After severe casualties, Titus adjusted his strategy. He ordered a massive wall of circumvallation constructed around the entire city, isolating it completely from outside assistance. Within days, famine gripped Jerusalem, and despair began to erode the defenders' resolve. Yet, determined Jewish fighters conducted daring raids and clever sabotage, causing repeated frustration to Roman siege operations. Titus, however, remained relentless. Siege engines battered the city's walls day and night. In one dramatic night, Jewish sappers undermined Roman ramps and siege towers, setting them ablaze and sending them collapsing spectacularly into ruin. Despite such fierce resistance, Roman persistence ultimately prevailed. On August 10th, a blaze erupted near the Temple Mount during a fierce battle. The dry timbers ignited furiously, and the sacred Second Temple, the spiritual heart of Judaism, was engulfed in flames. Jewish defenders, torn between defending their lives and fighting the flames, watched helplessly as their sanctuary turned to ash. The fall of the temple shattered morale. The Romans, sensing victory, surged forward in savage triumph. The city's final strongholds were mercilessly stormed, and the slaughter was immense. Jerusalem fell completely by September, its streets awash with blood, its buildings charred ruins. Victorious, Titus returned to Rome, celebrated by his people. Vespasian, now emperor, awarded him a grand triumph. The Arch of Titus commemorated this victory, depicting the spoils of Jerusalem, including the sacred menorah of the temple, symbolizing Rome's dominance. Although isolated resistance persisted, notably at Masada, the Jewish revolt had been decisively crushed. Yet the spirit of defiance was far from extinguished. In centuries to come, the struggle between Rome and Judea would flare repeatedly, marking one of history's enduring tales of rebellion, resilience, and tragedy.